comment if you can hear me okay. I can see the comments now. I like it. Okay, cool. You can hear me. All right. So the first one that I did, I don't know if it was recorded. I don't know if I was live because it was my first time doing it. So anyway, here I go again. Because my girlfriend is prompting me to do this and get it right. Okay. So the topic I had before was, do you feel separate from God? And this is prompted from a conversation I was having today with a beautiful group of ladies. We do every week. And we just talk about life scenarios, whatever is going on in their life. And 50% of them are Christian. So, okay. You know where the conversations are going to go. And I think I'm on a God marathon because since 2025 started, I have found myself, or God has put me in situations where I had to be this vessel, in a sense, to reaffirm people in their faith. And some people look at me and say, me not expect that to come out of your mouth, but it does. Because this girl no longer believes in a God. I know God. I know God so personally that ain't nobody who can tell me there's not a God. Okay, now it's working. Now it's working. Now I see it at all. Okay, so this is my first live. So forgive the antsiness. I have my girlfriend who's testing it with me to make sure that I'm actually doing this thing right. So forgive the first live video. I don't know if the one before happened, so that's why I'm doing this, okay? My friends are nudging me to do this because we have these conversations every week for free. And the rest of them don't want to be on camera, and I don't mind it. So that's why we're going to have these conversations. Now, for some reason, I've been put in situations to kind of remind people about their faith, remind people how much they're not separate from God, not as separate as we were taught or as I perceived when I was growing up. Because when I was growing up, I used to believe that God is somewhere far, far, far away in the clouds. And listen to me, my voice is too small and too minute and not as important for God to hear. So I grew up with this kind of fear inside of me so much that I would not pray for myself because I always thought I don't have the right words. I don't have the right words. God's not going to hear me. And I used to depend on a pastor or my mom or my sister or my dad to pray for me. And as I grew older in teenage years, if I found myself in a situation or troubled or worried about, let's say, an examination I had to do, in my teenage years, I was in another country and my parents were in Jamaica. And I remember I used to go to the phone booth. Them time in England, we used to go at the phone booth and you get the card. And I think he used to give you like maybe 25 minutes or something like so for one £5 card. And I used to call them and I used to spend the whole time. I said, Daddy, just pray for me, pray for me, come to if I go pass the exam. And I was brought up in this way. From my perception, I'm not blaming anybody, but me always think me separate from God. Me always feel say God the far. You know what I mean? So because of that, I didn't know then what I know now, that every single word that I utter from my mouth is a prayer. Me never know. I'll be honest with you. People who do know, that's fine. But the reason why I say this is to say that the conversation I had today, one of the ladies was feeling so down that she said the words that I don't usually like to hear. She said, God doesn't answer my prayers. I am alone in this world. God doesn't answer my prayers. And she's going through a situation that many people are going through right now. They don't understand, and she doesn't see what the plan is. And I had to explain it this way, because most of us, if you want to be a voice or a vessel to somebody, sometimes it's good to give them analogies, okay? And my way is always listening to somebody. It's always good to just listen with compassion, not with judgment, okay? Listen with compassion, and then you can dissect to say, you know what? Maybe this is the thing that you fear while you're still living in lack. And she's going through a lot, but she had the same upbringing like me. She's a Jamaican girl. And okay, her situation is she got a diagnosis recently. And it's stage 2. And it's scary. And many times when we find ourselves in these situations, you don't know what to do, especially if you don't have support. If you don't have people around you who's compassionate and who's not judging you and, trying to find every reason not to give you support, and you'll feel alone. And because of this diagnosis, and she's gone through so much 2024 coming now, she's saying to herself, God doesn't hear my prayers. And it broke my heart. Because you're talking about a well-dressed, you know what I mean? She's in a good job. But when you speak to her on a personal level, she's broken. And there's so many people out here right now who's broken. There's another lady in our group she's devastated and she's scared because of what's happening in America now with everything with immigration, and she's terrified. And she's so terrified, it's crippling her movement. It's crippling what she can become because she's terrified of something that she doesn't know if it's going to affect her or not. And this is where faith comes in. And this is why I think I'm live. God alone set this up, not me. No matter what you're going through, whether it's a diagnosis, whether it's issues with the family, whether it's finding somebody to love you, whether it's financial, whether it's just flying the coop, whether it's just taking a leap of faith, whatever your situation is, just know that you're at this crossroads right now because you have a decision to make. But most times you already have the answer. I remember I said to her, I said, have you never heard God's voice? She said, no. And I said, are you kidding me? You never heard God? She said, no, I never heard God's voice. I said, well, you live alone now. When you talk to yourself, what's the voice that answers you back? That voice. She said, that's my voice. I said, but God speaks to you in your own voice. And that's the point I wanted to get across to somebody today who feels as if you're alone. And I think I am pushed to do this even more now because a couple of weeks ago I was at the Edge conference in New Jersey, and I was touched by how high the percentage is for 2024 for mental wellness need. And that's in this country. But there are so many people now who are putting bands together to create resources to deal with people who just need to have somebody to talk to and somebody to help to redirect people so they don't fly the coop in Jamaica with us, so they don't lose their mind. And I got a little bit emotional because in Jamaica, we can't even use the word mental health. And we can't even use it in churches. There's no space for mental health in Jamaica. And I think I would love to see more resources in that case, because we're not talking about people on the streets only who in a dirty clothes and smell bad. I'm talking about well-dressed corporate people, well-dressed ordinary people out there who's one voice, one sound, one situation away from doing something crazy. So when I hear somebody who says this, say God doesn't hear their prayer, I have to stop and I think about it. I say, you know what? This is where the devil lives, where fear is. I've learned this in my spiritual journey, that the devil doesn't have any power. I was brought up and I always thought, the devil strong, him have power. No, I've come to learn that that's not true. See, the devil uses fear. And when I say the devil, y'all just know what I mean. Dark energy, disappointment, bad luck, whatever you want to call it. That's what I mean. That energy, anything that's negative, it feeds on your light. And your light is your belief and your knowing of a higher power. But as soon as something starts to happen around you, to you, in your environment, in a totally different country, but you resonate with it so much that you bring it home here, it uses the fear that you have of something that may never happen and takes your light away. That's the battle between darkness and light. I've learned that. And I think if more people understood how much power you have as a person with a heart, a person with your own choices, a person with God in your ears every single day, the voice in your ears that says, yo, fly the coop. You want to start your business? All right, fine. Let's take a leap and trust. Let's take a leap and trust in what I'm telling you. Be still and know that I've got you. And the problem is, most of us are so fearful that it cripples our success. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I think. I'm on a God marathon this year, which is weird. It's not like me. But I talk it in private spaces. I talk it around private tables. And I'm going to talk it here for free. Because I would like people to start standing in their own power, to understand that, yo, there is nothing that you can perceive that's not possible for you if you take the fear out of it and just trust in a higher power. Now, how many people here can tell me about a situation you've ever been in? Mad situation, something, sickness, healing, miracle that just happened. And when it happened, you have to stop to yourself and say, yo, I couldn't have planned that. Oh, that worked out so. All right. In the life before that probably didn't happen, I talk about the diagnosis that I had last year, in the dreams that I had. I may get the dreams from January, February, March, ignoring them, not paying them no mind. And let me tell you what God did. Spirit set me up in a way that I was only opening an oven door. That's it. I mean, I've been or nothing. And I think I waited 3 months getting these dreams, and my body warned me and I'm not moving fast enough. And I wasn't listening. And just by pulling the oven door to open it, the wickedest pain hit me. It was the worst pain I felt probably since childbirth. And that pain is what got me to the doctor. All of the dreams and warnings me that get before, I wasn't listening because I didn't want to go, okay? But when I went to the doctor, here's how it go. Here's how I see it. There was an angel there whispering in the doctor's ears, because he couldn't do it either because the doctor don't know my situation. All he knew was I came there with bad back pain. And after he dealt with the back, this doctor just started to ask me, when is the last time you did a mammogram? When is the last time you did a pap smear? Listen, you should have done this. I'm writing you up to do this, that, and ultrasound and all this type of stuff. And that happened then, I have to look at it and say, God set me up to go to the doctor for back pain, which all of a sudden the back pain left. As soon as the doctor started to do these things and sign me up, the back pain gone. And I could go to do all these tests because by now, me start listen. To find myself to come back to my doctor for them to tell me, listen, you're 1 stage away from stage 1 cancer. We're going to operate in, I think it was a month. And I sit down on the table and I say, Wayne just say a while ago, what am I talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. And here's how I look at it. Another angel whispered in that doctor's ears and said, you know what, Miss Burrell, wait a minute. Let me go call the surgeon and get back to you. And in about another 15 to 20 minutes, she came back in and she said, you know what? I discussed with the surgeon. The surgeon said he's not going to wait a month. You're doing this operation tomorrow. This was a Wednesday in June 2024. And the Wednesday by 2 o'clock, I had to go to Brookdale Hospital to get prepped for surgery. For Thursday morning, 7 o'clock, I was to go back to the hospital for surgery. I didn't have time to call family members. I didn't have time to Google, to freak out. I didn't have time for nothing. At that point, I said to her, this must be God. This must be God, because I was getting these dreams from January, February, March, and I ignored them. And Spirit set it up for me to get on wicked back pain, which is the only thing that could get me to go to the doctor. And not just that. Let me tell you how God works. Not just that. The doctor didn't just look on my back. He had the knowing from another whisper from God in his ear to say, listen, this girl, don't let her leave until you make sure she is 100% clean. This doesn't just happen to me. This happens to millions of people. They just don't talk about it. When God is setting you up, he's the one who plans. Your mind cannot think about anything beyond now. What my mind can see right now around me in this apartment is the only thing that it believes. And even if Alexa tell me it's snowing outside, my mind still won't believe it until I go to the door, open it, and see snow falling. But God, a higher power, the support system that you have that's in the spiritual realm, that's where miracles happen, where your faith lives, where your knowing is. Because God is the only one who can synchronize something for you as far as 10 years from now, but he started to set it up right now. I know people have these stories, and I had to say this to her. I said, don't say that you don't believe in God, that God's not listening to you. God's the voice that you hear in your ears. When you say to yourself, why am I left a relationship here in our work out? And you hear your own voice and it says, leave. And you start to fight it because you say to yourself, I can't go. How am I going to do it? I don't have stability. I don't have enough money. You're living in a lack mentality. And there's a voice, and who do you think the voice is? Where do you think the voice is coming from? People always where you want to see an angel, an apparition come down in front of you and say, this I am God, and kick you in the behind and said, listen, go get that job application. Go and look for that lease to start your own business. Listen, me start cook food and just put out some advertisement and start selling food. Listen, start doing something digital. Listen, left the job. Listen, left the man. This is what we all want. You want everything to happen, like you literally want somebody to push you in the direction when you already getting directions, and you're being protected, you're being directed, and you're being redirected. So if you're in whatever situation it is now, diagnosis, immigration problems, let go of the fear. The fear is where the devil lives. Because when you become fearful, you cripple yourself. You can't hear the voice, and you don't succeed from where fear is because you're worried about what you think will happen. But the miracles that's already happening for you was already pre-planned. I got too many stories about these miracles. And as I spoke to these ladies today, they themselves realized they could stop. There was one girl who was telling me about a couple years ago, right here, going to Long Island. And she said it was snowing. And for some reason, out of nowhere, somebody just started to slide. Their vehicle started to slide. And she said she was looking on this van coming down on her. She said, Nikki, me know me not live. She said, me know me not live. Me just give up and me just say, let's sit there. That's it, no. And she said, that's how she ended up going to church too. She said, there's nobody who can tell her. She just saw this white, like should I said, this white apparition, but she said it was a lady, but she not full white. And just as the vehicle for hit her, she said the lady was in front of the vehicle, and she said all the vehicle shake, she not feel nothing. And she said her vehicle was totaled, and she came out without a scratch. And she said, when the police come, and she said to them, say, one lady, look for the lady. There was a lady there between my van and that. No, then I said the lady. Who do you think did that? Beyond the scenes, behind the scenes of your life, behind the scenes of your workplace, the bus stop where you don't know, in your house, behind the scenes where these eyes aren't perceiving, you have enough support. You have an angelic team that is there supporting you. So for the person who's thinking, me nah no support, me nah no help, dig deep. And if you're in a situation right now that you feel, listen, God, I can't take anymore. This is one of that thing. We blame God for a lot of stuff. And the reason I'm going to say this now, because somebody else said this today. They said, God, give me more than what me can bear. But you know what I had to say? God never gives you more than what you can bear. But you know what we do? We take on people problem. We take on enough people weight. We're enough for we. And God's not the one who did that. You did it. There are a lot of things that happen to us in life, and we hold on to the trauma, and we also bring the weight. That's why God say, forgive and leave vengeance to me. This happened to me. There are a lot of people, especially in Afro country, would I love to sit down around table with people to deal with incest and molestation and pedophilia in my country. But I won't say it here because it has become such a norm, and it was the norm, and it's happened to so many well-dressed, beautiful people now. They kind of don't know how to continue in life without carrying that weight. Whenever you feel like things are happening where you can't take no more, you feel like give up, it's time for you to stop and assess and say, yo, I'm bringing somebody's weight that ain't mine. And you gotta let it go. And let it go and let God deal with it. Because at the end of the day, if you're carrying weight that's not yours, you are going to feel overwhelmed. You are going to feel like, yo, me have to give up. No. God, me no one day no more. I would like to see, especially for my people, everybody on my people, me attack, Jamaican people, because you have the tenacity to do everything great. And every time I look at that, I say, yo, I'm proud to be a Jamaican, I don't care. Because whatever we do great. And there are many nations who are like this, no joke. But I have to talk about what I know. But what breaks you is your lack of faith and your fear. You're fearing things that probably will never happen. Okay? So you're in relationships and it's a revolving door and you can't find anyone that's right. Well, stop for a second and say, yo, what is it that I'm afraid of so much? Why I don't align with somebody who treats me right? Do you know where that stops? Look in the mirror and the reflection tells you that you're not treating yourself right. So if you're not loving yourself right, how do you expect somebody else to love you? You're attracting people who are also mama's boys, who also don't know about love, who also probably were traumatized themselves and don't even know what love is. You don't know what it looks like, what it feels like. You don't know anything about it. You don't know what it sounds like. So the first person said to you, say, yo, me love your girl, you're pretty. I first never see a girl pretty so. And you start to melt because you don't know how to love yourself for real. Like to be in a space and know, hey, this is the color I like. This is the ambience I really love for me. This is where I'd want to be for myself. This is my projection of what I want my life to be. This is my happiness. And then when you find yourself there, you know, if you look for love, it finds you without judgment, without anything else. So while the world is going crazy, I've been having this conversation ever since Trump came in. Ever since Monday, because people are going crazy and they're fearful. But because I don't believe in God anymore. I know God. I know God for myself and I know the miracles. And when the election was won, I kept saying, Trump didn't win the election. Congratulations to you, Mr. Trump. But God won the election. Because no matter which party came in, God won the election. And whatever needs to happen will happen through them. You ever find yourself in a situation where God used your enemy for warn you? You got to tell me there's somebody here who's been through that. God used your enemy to warn you. Somebody thinks they're doing something to hurt you. A lot of you have been through this situation. And you take it so personal to heart. Say, why this person not like me? Why this person not fight me? Why is this person making my life so hard? Don't look at this person with judgment. Thank them. Because God is seeing something better, something greater for you. And the only way he can get you to really move is to use somebody who you call an enemy to get your bum up and to get moving and to take that leap of faith. So for the people out there, I don't care what you're going through. I don't care how bad it is. I had one girl in my group. She has stage 2 cancer. She has to deal with that. She needs support. And we're going to be support for her. There's another girl. She has immigration issues. Really seriously. And she's fearful. There's another girl. She's been abused. And I am only saying this because the stories of these women are stories of many people who will see this or who will hear it. And it's your story too. And the only thing it's saying is there's a plan for you. Or maybe you've been hearing the plan all along, but you've just been so stubborn and so fearful you haven't been listening. So it's time to take the faith. Take a leap of faith in yourself and understand, yo, when I see me I walk out a road and I know son of me when I walk, me have enough angel back at me. Hey, let me tell you one joke. Let me tell you how I test God. Maybe 2023. Remember me I walk. Me I walk by Utica one day and there was this guy on the road. I don't know what did I go wrong, but he was mentally unstable. And me come off of the bus and I walk, I go up, I pay nobody in mind because I always patois, sorry. I always have my earbuds in, listen to something. And I didn't notice what was happening, but people were running. So people were running and I'm still walking up because I'm going in that direction. Listen, by the time I took the corner, that was this guy with one proper nice piece of, I don't know if I told before or what, but it was a nice piece of board. And let me tell you how God good. God can make you be invisible to your enemies. All me could have said was, Jesus Christ, cover me. I'm going to do no more. I could not run or nothing else. And you know what happened? That mad boy put up his stick. For proper clot me with it. And you know, I said, him put up his hand with his stick for clot me with it and he not come down. That stick not come down and harm me did. And me say, yes, me dead now. If that catch me head, that dead me dead in a Utica. And for some reason, all I felt was like this warmth all over my body. I was like, I got that. Hey, you can't tell me nothing about God. Me know God. And you know God to a stubborn and no stubborn. That youth with that piece of two before, did I go clap me with it, you see? And I think maybe the kids were troubling him before. But you know when people who don't have stable minds, somebody are trouble them, then like anybody with them say, I don't know. People are run like crazy. And when I see it and I see that happen, me just shut me and say, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you, Jesus. Go straight to my office and lock the door. And when me done, I really stop and I say, God, are you do that? This is how me talk to God. But I'm just saying this to say that understand how powerful you are. Because if me write one story or animate it, when me I walk, me I animate at least 100 angels back at me and around me. And that's how powerful I want people to feel. No matter what's happening, no matter what one person will say, I want person with flesh and blood just like you. Can't drop down with heart attack. Can't in an accident. Then I must live to see tomorrow. But today, when you're here, stop living a life worrying about things we're not sure about. You live a life and wait for death. Death is a sure thing. So while we're here and we say, yo, death is a sure thing. Especially, you know, I hear my story with death. But I will share it at some point. But those experiences that I had since COVID, coming to know, has strengthened me in a sense where, I mean, I apologize for telling nobody about God. Yo, me I God picked me in a business with you. And it's not in a way where it's judgmental. It's in a way where me just know. But here's the problem with that. When you come to know how God bless people and how nothing that you see happening is happening to you, but it's happening for you, you want to tell everybody. Like, me want to just hug everybody and say, yo, no worry yourself, things are going to work out, you know. What your problem? What your fear? What your fear? And the first thing somebody say, me not think me have enough money. Me not think me I go get support. Me not think if me start a business for myself, people are going to buy from me. What? How do you know that? Take a leap of faith. And for people who are going into business, all of the money man then do it. Think of a problem somebody has and create a solution for it. Create a tangible solution for a problem that a group of people have. And if we have 7.8 billion people in the world right now, which is what they said when I checked this morning, we have 7.8 billion problems. Because even the toddler have a problem. Them have a mother where probably I hug them too much. And them I say, me no know, me come here fine, give me a break now, no. Or they have a mother when I hug them enough. And them I whisper to themselves, say, God, I'm back in a womb because me about this woman now come. Anything is possible, but everybody has an issue. So while I'm here, all I want to say is this. If you got a diagnosis, you didn't get it alone. If you have financial issues, you didn't get it alone. If you have problems in your relationship, you're not in it alone. If your kids, you can't understand them anymore, maybe it's time for you to stop and start listening actually to what they're saying. And if the world is crumbling around you, you're not the only one in this world. And you're not alone either. So no matter what one person says, there's nobody that's above you, no matter how much money they have. And let me share this with you. I am around these tables. I'm sitting around these tables. I'm sitting with these people who have billions of dollars. And I'm also sitting with people who are in moderate jobs. And let me tell you something that's common. All of them have problem. The millionaire sometimes have more problem than you. I'll be honest. I met a millionaire last year. Big one. And the man biggest problem is he can't get a good plate of food. Seriously. And we have some regular man where I get food so till they all dash it where them all share it. Everybody. I say that to say this. Everybody has issues. Some kind of issue. The whole point is just resound in yourself to say, listen, whatever the issue is, I'm putting God in front of this. And that's what I'm going to trust. I'm trusting God in my situation. And this relationship, if it's not working, I'm going to pray myself through it. And if God says it's expired, I will know because I will hear it here. Your voice that you hear right here is God talking to you. And always remember this. The mistake that I made as a young one coming up, thinking that God is on a throne somewhere and he's too far to hear my voice. Every single time you have a thought or you say a word inwards or outwards, you're speaking to God. It's a prayer. So you don't need to have fancy words to speak to God. There never is. Because God meets you where you are. Oh my gosh. So one of our lectures we did, there was this girl and she was so shameful. You could see it because she kept looking down. And when she finally started to talk, here's what happened. She had a lifestyle that she thought was so far off, that was so dark that God wouldn't meet her where she is, that God wouldn't accept her, that there's no way God would hear her prayers. And for the person I don't care what kind of life you had, if you have anyone around you who's judging you right now, say, yo, God knows you. You're not no soul. Can you tell them that I said to shut up? Because if God loves a murderer the same way he loves you, you best believe that there's no judgment that you should take from anyone. God meets you where you are. You don't need to walk in a particular temple. You don't need to speak to any special person except just to God. Where you are, where you stand right now, speak to God. And it's just between you and God. It has nothing to do with anyone else. The only issue I have, and I have to say this without judgment, is many churches, not many, few churches that I've been involved with, not all of them, but a few of them, and it's not the churches, I shouldn't say the churches, church members. Sometimes we come forward with God with judgment. And that's where I will never take tea. Because we don't have any right to judge. I remember 2021, October 2021, I think it was 2021, when I almost died. And I never forgot. When I got a chance not to die, to come back, I remember I wanted to tell everybody so much about the goodness of God. Because when you're almost dead, and you feel like you almost sit to the spirit world and you understand, say, oh my God, I'm really with God all the time. I wanted to tell everybody, but the one thing that I remember hearing is this. It's not your responsibility to convince anybody or try to drag them to God. It's your responsibility to live in God so much that your light so shines so bright that people will start asking questions. Her life just seems to be at such ease. I wonder what she's doing. Let me ask her. Let me follow her. Let me see what she's doing. Maybe I can emanate something like that. I remember I heard that when I almost died. And I started to say to myself, so it's not my responsibility or any church member's responsibility to judge you. But it's your responsibility to know with God to say, listen me. God, this is what I did. But God doesn't see what you did. God sees you where you are right now. So what do you want out of life? Do you want to live life in the now moment, knowing that you have so much spiritual support that no matter what they will throw at you, no matter what diagnosis, no matter what problems will come, that you have support? Or do you want to keep giving the darkness the power away? Because remember I said, the devil, the darkness has no power. The idea of vampire comes from the dark energy. And what the devil does, and some people play the part of a vampire in your life also, they take away your light by things happening to your life that's so traumatic or that's so fearful that it cripples you and it feeds off your light. So when you see somebody out there and they appear to have a mental illness, or their minds seem not to be here, or their doctors are treating them for depression, or they just can't be kind, or they can't be balanced, you can't have a good conversation with them, it's simply because this individual has allowed, because it's your choice, allowed the darkness, allowed the devil to suck away their light. And this is the reason why we have people that has these issues. You can do it from your habits, substance abuse, holding on to the weight that's not yours to hold on to, something that's happening in the world, or just literally judging people every day and just hating on people, hating on somebody because of a story that you heard way back when that doesn't resonate now. Racism, all these crazy stuff, looking at somebody and their sexuality and not allowing them and leaving them to live their lives because, listen, y'all judgment is up to God. I ain't judging you, leave you alone, and you're not taking that weight on yourself. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where you're losing sleep or you're having migraines over somebody else's issue, you're taking this weight on. It's like packing it on you. And believe me, it doesn't go away until you transmute it back to God. So why would you take it on? With everything that's going on in the world right now, people trying to pay their bills and just get by, why would you have to take on hate on top of that? Or judgment on top of that? Listen, I don't care about you in your life. I love you as a reflection of God, because we're all reflections of God. And I will leave you and your decisions to God, honey. All I'm going to do is be compassionate to you. Yes, I love you. And I'm not going to let you hurt me, but I love you, honey. And that's it. I'm not going to judge you. Because when I come into my space where I sit and I commute with God and my angels, I don't want weight in here with me. And this is why so many people are transmuting and coming up with so many physical ailments, because everything that's happening in the world, we take it on. We take it on, and we're bitter about it, and we find our stuff with stomach issues, and we say, where did that come from? Well, you wake up every day so angry. You wake up every day so ugly to the world, and you don't stop for a minute and look at yourself and say, listen, this is who I am. I am a child of God. I am a light. I am a vessel. And if I just wake up every morning being grateful just to have one more day to breathe, which God is in your breath, that's all I really want. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about what this government says or that government says, because God meets me where I am. And whatever is best for me, that's exactly what I'm going to experience. So let's talk about the vampires in your life. I've had some. Do you have anybody in your life, in your family, in your community, at your job? And when you talk to them, by the time they're done, you feel completely depleted of your energy. Okay, that's what they call living vampires. That's where the concept comes from. Because there are people out there who actually do that. And not everybody, I'm not telling you to judge anybody right now, because not everybody knows they do it. Some do. Some people do it because they're already engulfed with dark energy and they need your light to feel good about themselves. But when they're done, they leave you so drained and so down. Sometimes you can't even whisper a prayer. You know what I mean? Hey, Paul Lawrence, can I ask you something if it's something good? So that's what I'm trying to say. So we have to be intuitively smart to know the circles that we find ourselves in. See this group of ladies that we talked about today, maybe they are not used to our circle, where people give them complete support, where somebody's going to listen to you to say, listen, God doesn't listen to my prayers. I am just giving up on life. And instead of having women who's going to judge them, they have women who will support them, who will be vessels of God to reiterate to them, to say, listen, I got you. And you have more support than you think about. So stop for a second and think about the last time something happened. Do you want... I already have one, but thank you, Paul Lawrence. Listen, do you want to think about a time that something happened in your life and you couldn't have planned it any better? You couldn't have done it any better. But you just know that, listen, this came from a superior power. This came from God. This was orchestrated by God. Do you know what I mean? And this is the power of your faith. So we have to graduate now from just believing in God and knowing God. And the way you do that is test it. Test the waters. Wake up in the morning right now and just talk to God. Talk to God about this thing that you want to do, this thing that's bothering you, and reflect to yourself and say, you know what? What's really bothering me? What am I afraid of? Why don't I want to leave out of this relationship that's not working? Why don't I want to trust myself enough to leave this job to start my own business? I want to do something digitally. I want to start my own product. Why am I fearful that I don't have enough money to do this? How do you not know that God's already planning for you to be gifted something from one way, or it's synchronized it so perfectly? It happens all the time. So have faith and just know that you're being guided. And the guidance that you're getting is not to hurt you. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And no matter what your situation is, always remember, you are not alone. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, it's because you're not listening. And stop fighting the voice. Stop fighting your guidance, your guides, your support system that says to you, listen to me. Tanayo yard today. Listen. When you can't find your keys, what do you think? What do you think is happening? That's all spiritual. When something just happened and you just can't work it out, but it just works itself out, and when you look at it, you say, man, me couldn't plan that myself. There's no way me could have planned that myself, brother. Yo, that just happened so. Me meet the right person at the right time, at the right place, forget a job of me as I talk about. This raise I just this morning, me I talk about it to myself, you know. And as I go to work, so a man just said to me, say, yo, come in my office, you know, say, deserve a raise. Who you think do it? Where you think it come from? It drop out the sky? This girl in our group who was talking about the accident, who's pretty, she knows. She not believe in God again in there now. She know God. So nobody can tell her nothing different. Who knows that she's good. She saw the accident coming. The man a slip and slide in the snow come straight to her vehicle. And she saw this woman in white. And from the accident happened, she came out of that vehicle unscathed. No scratches. Because God saved her. She had an angel. Her guardian angel was there. I don't know about you, if you believe in guardian angels, if you even believe God, or whatever your situation is. But listen to me. I know about that. And I just wanted to share this today, my first live. So I was just testing it out, and I think I've gone long enough to just encourage somebody to, whatever you're going through, man, just know it will be okay, whatever the situation is. And the main thing is, live in the moment, live in now. Do something always that makes you feel happy about yourself, that makes you feel proud to be you. You understand what I deal with? That just allows you to express yourself exactly how you want to feel it. Don't settle, because we didn't come here to settle. And stop living waiting to die. Just live your life the way it is now, because death is a sure thing. There's nothing you can do about that. However, while you're here, while you're living. Smile some more. Be kind to somebody, even one cat. Somebody too mean. Give encouragement, be compassionate, and listen to me. Keep the darkness out by letting go of the fear, okay? Stop being fearful about all these things that you don't know. Remember, there's always a miracle around the corner. There's always a miracle one step away. There's always a miracle one flick away, one click away. While you're swiping your phones, try to engage yourself with stuff that affirms you feeling good about yourself. Don't say, yo. And remember I told you, I'm sitting around these tables. The man that you're sitting and you're looking at now, you emanate to say, boy, I wish me did stay like Beyonce or stay like this, Maddie. They got problems too. Them got stress too. And I told you about the 1 millionaire friend I may have where his biggest problem is he can't get a good plate of food. And I know every Jamaican here know how to cook. And whether you are a billionaire or not, you got some good meals. Everybody has issues. Don't focus on that. For those who are dealing with trauma, we'll talk about that another time because yo, girl, know about that too. But for right now, I only said this today because a lady said to me today that she is ready to give up because God now hear our prayer. And I wanted to come on here to just say to somebody else who is a representation of this lady, who is mirroring her life, who's going through a diagnosis, and the other girl who's going through a relationship she doesn't know, she doesn't trust how to get out of. Because God is telling her to leave, but she doesn't want to go because she thinks, how am I going to sustain myself? God's telling her to leap. Trust. Trust in God. Trust in yourself. Trust in your intuition and the voice in your head. And remember that when you speak positive over your life. If you wake up every day saying, boy, today I want a bad day like yesterday, me just know it. That's what you're going to get. Wake up every day expecting the best in your life. Expect surprises. Say it too. I'm going through today. Listen, God, I'm waking up. I'm going through this door. I want to experience happiness and peace. I want to experience excitement today. I want to experience love. I don't care what it is. Speak it into being. And stop waking up every day expecting the worst because that's what y'all go get. Y'all get a double portion of everything you expect. Be careful of the words that come out of your mouth. Every word that come out of your mouth is a prayer. And yo, when you pray, a SOS call goes out. And listen to me, it's always keyed in for you. And you do get double portions. So instead of being fearful, just trust. Be positive. Speak life over yourself. I'll speak life over your neighbor too, even if my peeping Tom. Because you're not business with him, don't judge him. Because what you put out there reciprocates back to you. Okay? Leave the people in my life, their sexuality, their judgment, everything that's happening. And just focus on you, your sovereignty, your reverence, and your peace. See it? Now, I'm going to come off of this if I can remember how to end it. And I probably don't remember how to bloody end it. So let me try again. Thank you for everybody who probably was here listening. It's my first live, and I'll try to do some more. Okay? Let me go through. Oh, there are comments. I even see comments. Pretty cool. Okay, thank you, Atoa. I see the blessings. Okay.